Show with Folly Farm, and Tom and I are being joined and welcoming our guests this morning by Jack and Steve. A very good morning to you both.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. If you've already been tuned in since before 8 o'clock, you'll know that we had someone get in touch. Christine got in touch to be like, can you play a song for Jack? Because he's doing a run in memory of his friend. And we played Tom Jones' Keep On Running. And I was like, I wonder if it's the same Jack. Because, Jack, I'm going to start with you. You are here talking to us because you are taking on quite an epic run this weekend.
Yeah, I am. So I'm doing 135 miles around a 1.1 mile loop in Narberth to raise money for the Sammy Size Gap. So the charity, the 135 miles is because that's the estimated number of people that are directly affected by every suicide. So I wanted to do something that was a significant number and something that was a little bit out there, should I say.
That number is significant, and it does show the significant impact that suicide has on families. And for those who might not be aware of Sammy Size Gap, it's a relatively new charity, and it was featured on the Community Hour on the County Show Look Back special last Sunday with Lee Hind, where we had Claire in conversation talking about Sammy Size Gap. And the reason for the name of the charity is because there is a Sammy Size Gap in her life, and she wants to support other people that may have their own size gaps in their lives. And Jack, you knew Sammy, and you're quite involved with the charity now.
Yeah. So Sam was like a little brother to me. He was a wonderful boy. He would light up a room anytime he walked into it. And I knew I could always count on him. He knew he could always count on me. So I felt like I wanted to do something for the charity. And my mother's one of the trustees in the charity, so I'm quite involved in that sort of sense. Trying to keep up with what they're doing and those sorts of things, and trying to support them any way I can.
Yeah. And so are you a runner anyway?
Yeah, I do. I like my running. So a couple of years ago, I did a 50 miler sort of on a whim, just to see how far I could actually push myself. And then it was after that I knew I'd do something for some sort of charity. And then it was only, I think, 4 weeks after that Sam actually did pass away. So I knew around that time that Claire wanted to start some sort of charity. And then I had a feeling that I'd be doing something quite ridiculous, probably for the charity itself. So yeah, I quite like my running. It's kind of become my personality now as well, particularly over the last few months.
Yeah, and for those who might want to support you individually and support Sammy Size Gap and the fundraising, how are you raising awareness about your run, and how can people get involved?
A lot of it is on the Facebook page. So we actually have a dedicated Facebook page to my run that has been shared on the Sammy Size Gaps Facebook page. And then there's also something called the Yaki Da Boy Project as well, which is part of the Sammy Size Gap, that looks more of like the activity based thing. So they've done throughout the summer, they did like different activities that you could get involved with, hoping to find like a sort of a new group. So there's that. I've been trying to share it around with friends and just in different groups and things. There's a fundraising website that you can go on to as well. That's on that Facebook page. And in terms of sort of supporting, donations are great, but just sharing it around or coming out on the day, just even if it's for a lap, just clap me around, give me a cheer, all of it will be welcome. Anything to take my mind off running the same loop.
Well, that's the thing. I dipped my toe in running a few years ago, and I love point to point. I love going somewhere or just doing one big loop. You're going to do that same lap over 100 times. How are you preparing yourself for that?
I've kind of been in my training. I've kind of incorporated what I would call boring runs. So I've had like the same loop that I would do almost every morning for about 3 months, near enough. Or I've had 2 loops that I would do, like one loop I do every morning for a week, the other loop I do every morning for a week. I've actually done some runs that incorporate the loop that I'm doing a few times. I've done one run that had like 20 of the loops in and things like that. But mainly I just know it's going to be really bad. and I'm just like accepting it because I'm sort of the same. I prefer a point to point or quite a big loop or something like that. So I've just kind of accepted the fact it's not going to be very fun.
And you're starting this just very quickly. You're starting this tomorrow because you're hoping to culminate it at the event on Sunday.
Yes, to start 8 a.m. tomorrow, sort of opposite Utopia, and then running all the way through till hopefully about 2 p.m. on Sunday is what I'm aiming for. But there's no specific time limit. But that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to get lots of people over by Utopia there and on the pavements really cheering you on.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd definitely give me a boost for sure.
Yeah. And there's going to be quite the welcoming committee because we've also got Steve with us, Mammoth DJ, our latest resident on a Wednesday night, debut show on Wednesday, and then jumping straight into a Sammy-sized day out on Sunday. Morning, Steve.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Yeah, I got to say, Jack, what an incredible thing that you're doing. And I was talking to Claire about this as well. And she made a really important point that, part of the idea of it being the same 1 mile is that it's about that monotony, and where our mental health can struggle sometimes in those moments and kind of battling through. And I just think what you're doing is amazing. So absolutely kudos to you there. Well done. And I look forward to welcoming you over when you get to Sammy Size, of course. Obviously, come over to the main stage and we'll make a big fuss of you because what you're doing is amazing. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Heather's been in touch. We'll be there supporting Jack. You're incredible. We're all so proud over on Instagram this morning. So, Steve, this Sammy Size Day Out is at the Bloomfield in Narberth. What can we expect on Sunday?
So we've got all sorts going on. So we've got a main stage, which I'll come to in a moment. But, this is very much a family-focused event where we've got a well-being tent where there'll be all sorts of different contributions being made from people from the community. So yoga classes, breathing exercises, mental health talks, and all sorts of things. So, this isn't just about suicide. We understand that this is the very dark end of the stick, if you will. But this is about kind of saying, hey, there's lots of things that we can do to enhance our lives and to be more aware of our community if there are others struggling, offering kind of advice on what we can do to help people if they're in a bad place maybe, but also what we can do to just look after ourselves when we're in a good place, to keep ourselves in a good place, because these things do have a way of creeping up sometimes. So the wellbeing tent is going to be excellent for everyone if anyone wants to pop in there. We got a kids zone where there's going to be all sorts of entertainments and things going on, play areas, bouncy castles, stuff like that as well. There's going to be food and drink stores, so there's going to be mocktails as well as some cocktails should anyone wish to indulge a little. And then on the main stage itself, we've put together a schedule that really just completely focuses on local talent. So we've got Sleeping Dogs, Vikings of China, but an acoustic set from them. We've got a Mamma Mia ABBA dance off for an hour for anyone who's maybe had a couple of cocktails and fancies a little dance. That'll be great fun. We got the Heathens. We've also got Angel Avenue, a drag queen. Now, I will say something here quickly. This is hilarious. Last year, I did an 80s night in the Eagle in Narberth. And as part of that, we did a fancy dress competition. And in the end, I couldn't tell a winner because you had one guy that looked excellent in his shell suit, proper 80s. And then the girl just looked like a really well-dressed 80s girl. Turns out the girl was the guy who's the drag queen, and I awarded them both the prize because I couldn't tell that it was a boy that was the girl. So much to my embarrassment afterwards, I was like, oh no, what have I done? So anyway, Ryan, who is the drag queen, he or she, Angel Avenue, wow, what a transformation. That's going to be great fun as well. We've also got Mel and Steve and Sophie Croft, acoustic act, and myself, and also the rock choir. Forgive me, the rock choir. I mean, there's so much going on during the day. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. So, yeah, and then we also have fire spinners to end the night with a bit of dance music. So it's going to be a fabulous day for everyone. It's going to be brilliant.
Gina.
And how are we going to get these tickets?
Right. So if you head over to sammy-sizedgap.co.uk, or if you go on to Sammy Size Gap on social media, you'll see the links to our Eventbrite ticket place where you can get your tickets. Tickets start from as little as £2. as well. And if there are any families out there that really can't afford to come along anyway, and we will look after you. This is about raising money, yes, of course. What Claire is trying to do here, as has been highlighted, is provide that real-time support in those dark moments when people really need it to stop those things from happening. And she needs help and funding to do that. She can't do it 24 hours a day. So, the revenue will be going into the very best place. But we also want to make sure this is very inclusive. So if there are any families that really literally can't afford it, come along, let us know. We'll let you in. Of course, we want to look after you as well. Okay. But yeah, that's the main thing, really, is just drawing awareness and trying to stop suicide from happening in Pembrokeshire. I can think of 7 people in less than 7 years that we've lost to suicide here. I lost my mother to it back in 2019, so I understand firsthand the impact that it has as well, which is why I'm so passionate about this. And I just don't want it to happen to anyone else. So whatever we can do, it needs to be done. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, engage with Sammy Size Gap and have fun doing it at their day out on Sunday, where you'll see Steve, Mammoth DJ, and you'll be there welcoming Jack back in from, how many miles was it again, Jack?
135.
Amazing.
135. The average number of people affected by one death through suicide. And thank you both so much for joining us. And
Thank you.
And if you want to listen back to Claire when she was in conversation with Lee on the Community Hour, you can listen back to that show at purewestradio.com/catch-up. The Sunday is going to be full of music from these local acts. But Jack, there was one song which you and Claire were pretty unanimous about what song we should play in a couple of moments' time here on Pure West Radio to commemorate Sam.
Yeah, Little Lion Man by Mumford & Sons. It was Sam's song.
It's coming up next for you here on Pure West Radio. Jack, Steve, thank you so much. Have a look at the Facebook page.
Thank you.
The details are on our website for the Sammy Says Day Out. Go and have a look there. We will play Little Lion Man after some What's Ons with the Pembrokeshire Coast National Park and an update on the roads with Link Taxis. It's coming up 25 minutes past 8 o'clock. Thanks again.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Cool.
Feel Good Friday with SM Bespoke.